Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Phil Switch. I'm Phil Carute, and I'm joined by my fearless co-host, Brock Tamarino. The Phil Switch podcast is brought to you by Sal's Tire Caps. Sal's Tire Caps. Tires without tire caps are like baseball players without baseball hats. Think about that for a little bit. Brock, we have a somewhat special show today. We are actually calling out to a guest today. I'm not sure if you're aware, Brock, but Kayla Lemieux was that teacher from Canada that had as Jacob put it, large bosoms. Back in the news last week, I want to say, she was suspended from the school, and from the little bit of notes that I took quickly, it was cited that maybe teachers dressing however they want should come second to the safety and well-being of students, and apparently Lemieux doesn't always wear the prosthetics when she's outside of school. So this became an issue, or those two things at least became an issue, and she was suspended. So I thought we would reach out to Jacob, who had called in saying that he had manufactured or custom made the bosoms for Lemieux, and see what he had to say. So without further ado, Brock, if you're all right with it.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I was actually kind of interested. I did hear about that story just a little bit, just a little bit from that story. So I was kind of actually, that was on my mind, how Jacob might be doing or might be handling it, or if he had any thoughts on it. So yeah, that'd be great.
All right, so our producer is actually dialing in Jacob right now. It looks like we got an answer. Jacob, welcome to the Phil Switch. Thank you for making yourself available for us to call you. We had a question for you here at the Phil Switch. We wanted to know what your take on this whole Lemieux thing was, considering that you stated that you had actually helped with the customization of her bosoms. So he's suspended, whatever, now, and just kind of curious what your thoughts are.
Well, yeah, that's a good question there, Phil. Thanks for having me on. First of all, a little bit nervous here. So I guess I'm not sure how it all works. I haven't talked to my attorneys yet, God knows, but I am kind of curious if I have any. I guess the word is liabilities. I mean, the bosoms I made, the large bosoms. Those are no small issues right now. I can tell you that much up here north from you guys, and just kind of running it back and forth in my head. Now I'm trying to run it back and forth in my head. I got to be careful what I say. Of course, like I said, don't have my attorney yet, but just trying to figure out if I'm going to be caught in this bosom caper.
Yeah, that's Jacob, that's actually what I'm kind of curious about too, is when I saw that Lemieux got suspended and had somewhat to do with the bosoms. I don't know how that comes back to you as the person who designed them or customized them. Me personally, I wouldn't think it has anything to do with you, but I don't know. You're the one that owns the business. And so, I mean, if, say, Lemieux decides that maybe this isn't a good idea having those prosthetic bosoms, do you have like some type of return policy or anything?
Oh, it's good you ask that, Brock. Typically on custom jobs here, Lord knows, I don't take returns. It's hard to kind of push things out once they've been used, if you know what I'm saying. And so I try not to. I typically don't take returns. In this case, I have had a couple people say that they've seen this Lemieux character on online in the media, things like that, and they said, we listened to Phil Switch. We heard that you actually had made those bosoms out of customized udders, cow udders, and we didn't know if you could, I guess, in a way, go back and retrofit those now and remake them into udders. We have some people on the farm, that kind of need some training in milking cows, things like that, and we thought maybe we could come by, grab those prosthetics after you got, a couple more nipples put on there. Of course, we don't typically milk cows with one nipple. It's called a bull. That's a big surprise for anybody that's tried that before. Lord knows you don't want to drink that milk. The milk's gone bad, a little bit sour there, salty. So they said, if you anyway, you can customize those bosoms back to udders, and maybe we come down, grab them, and no pun intended here. Pick them up and take them back to the farm to see if we can train some people on those, some future farmers of Canada here. So that's one way that I've thought maybe I could take those on a return. Now, of course, there still is the case if Lemieux doesn't want to give them back to me. Obviously that's no problem. He purchased them. He's more than welcome to keep them. I mean, if I had to decide on whether I want the bosoms back or whether I'd rather have him keep them, to be honest with you guys, if I can take a bit of liberty here, I really wouldn't care to have them back. At this point, I don't know where they've been. Once they leave my store, I say, once a set of bosoms leaves my store, I don't know where they're going, where they've been, what they've been up to, and so I just prefer they stay where they're at, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it makes sense that you wouldn't want prosthetic bosoms back because I'm not sure what you would do with them. I mean, I suppose you could, even if you said you were going to maybe, you had some requests to, if they came back to the store, to refashion them back into udders. But at the same time, I also wonder if, maybe you just wouldn't want them back at all for the reasons you cited and left quite vague, but I think everybody understands.
Yeah, I just, when I do custom jobs like that, my thought is, okay, so I talked about this a little bit when I came on your show before to address this when it was first in the news, but now when I take on a custom job, I'm thinking to myself, okay, Jacob, you got this job here. You know what the customer or client would like you to do. And then I take all their input. And of course, I put a little bit of artistic fling of my own onto it. I mean, that's why people come to me after all. So after I put my artistic fling on it, I get their input and we put those all together. It's very it is what it is. It's a custom thing. And Lemieux seemed very excited about what I was doing, the work I was doing. Lord knows. I mean, it's not every day my work gets that much attention there. So I struggle to try to think about if I got those back. It'd be kind of like, I don't want to put myself on too much of a pedestal here, but it'd be kind of like if Michelangelo, people are like, the Sistine Chapel there, we'd probably rather not have all that artwork by Michelangelo. And Michelangelo's like, that's okay. I'll just paint over that. Just a nice eggshell coat there, and it'd be all done. And then people would go to see it later and it's gone. And I think that's kind of where I'm at, not to say I'm Michelangelo, of course, Lord knows, but I just wonder if if those large bosoms would disappear and they just go away, would anybody ever remember Jacob? And it's something I deal with. It's I hate to say it, guys. I've got a lot of work out there, but I'd be lying if I said that I didn't think those large bosoms that fit uncomfortably and maybe atrociously to a man didn't give me some sense of pride in my handiwork. And if we were to bring those back and I just made them old-fashioned cow udders again, I feel like there'd be something lost there. I feel like a piece of me would be lost with the return of those bosoms. And, I almost, I'm thinking about it now, I almost kind of want them to just be up in an attic. Like if you had some stuff from your grandparents and it's thrown in a couple boxes and it's back in the corner of the hot, dusty attic up there, and one day you go up there, you get the courage to go up, because Lord knows there's all kinds of things up there, spiders, rodents, things of this nature. And you go up there and you're looking behind the boxes and you say, oh, here's a box I haven't seen before. I wonder what's in here. And you open up that box and holy cow, look at this. There's a whole slew of old baseball cards from my grandpa. Wow, that's something. And I just imagine these, those large bosoms are thrown in a box somewhere. And Lemieux hands them off to, I don't know if he's got grandkids, but maybe he's got nieces or nephews. He hands them off to one of those, and they think to themselves, I don't know what's in this box. Lord knows he's the guy that walked around with large bosoms until he got suspended from being a teacher. But I'm gonna throw this box up in the attic there, to be way in the back. Nobody will know about it, and then maybe a couple generations later, the house is, I don't know, getting sold, or maybe the box is still floating around the family. And, a couple generations later, somebody opens that box and they're like, oh, what's in here? And they're looking all around. And of course, they're moving some things from side to side, maybe some old dishes, a couple washcloths that maybe don't look like they've been quite as used as you'd think. And then, lo and behold, there's a set of large fake bosoms right at the bottom of that box, and it has old Jacob's signature on them. And somebody says, "Well, wow, these are bosoms, and these are large, is what they are." And I see from the inscription here on the tag, it says, "Oh, these are made by a feller named Jacob." Of course, I'll be long gone by then if we're talking about a couple generations out. I'd assume, maybe, probably, depending on how how I treat my body, things like that. I still like to go on walks from time to time, get the heart rate up a little bit there, so I'm taking care of myself. But you never know what's going to happen. And so they're just sitting there looking and wondering who this Jacob guy is. And of course, with a legacy, people might never really actually know who you are, but you know that you left that behind, and that people are just sitting there thinking about it. With those large bosoms, just one in each hand, just wondering what kind of craftsman made these, I wonder.
Yeah, that's I guess that could be a legacy, somebody just rooting around in Lemieux's box of whatever, and they come upon the over exaggeratedly large bosoms you made there.
Oh, one can hope. One can hope that I've made an impact on this world in even if it's kind of in an odd way, in some way. And in the future, people be looking around like, holy Toledo, who wore these bosoms, and what does his spine look like now? I do wonder. I wondered that to myself from time to time. Probably a lot of back pain, some pressure there. But hey, man, you got to give the customer what they want. Yeah, that's that could be a thing. Jacob, so do you have any concerns or anything with Lemieux being suspended or anything like that? Well, like I said at the beginning, I'm just not sure what the liability is. I mean, part of me feels like, I got nothing in it. I'm not really the messenger, but don't shoot the artist. Don't shoot the craftsman. So I don't know. I'm trying to get my thoughts together, trying to see what options are out there for me. Like I said, still haven't talked to my attorney. Probably shouldn't be doing this show right now, come to think of it. A lot of people listen to this show here then. To be honest, I don't know. I don't really know how many people listen to this show, but some people hear it. That's no good. Is there any way you guys can delete this and do another show? To be honest, Jacob, we can't. We kind of do a one time a week thing here, and this is the time that Brock has allotted for it. This is the time I've allotted for it, so this is our show for the week. Yeah, well, that's not the news I was hoping to hear, to be honest with you, but I tell you what, if anything ever comes of this and people say, hey there, we would like a recording of your show for evidence purposes, could you tell them no?
Well, that's actually the thing about it being a podcast is, I suppose our producer keeps maybe a master copy of the recording for a while, but it's still out there in, podcast world.
Yeah, you make a good point there, don't you, Brock? Yeah. Well, let the chips fall where they may, I guess. And, if I need to talk to you guys about something later on, or maybe I got to send you some paperwork saying, hey, I need you to swing on by to my lawyer's house and talk to him for a bit about that whole conversation we've had and how Jacob didn't really say a whole lot, right? You guys will know what you guys will know what it's pertaining to. I'm sure. I don't anticipate I'll be getting in trouble for anything, but you never know. I probably ought to start getting some paperwork rounded up. Well, hey, Jacob. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. And call in any time, whether it's about the large bosoms or otherwise. Call in some other time, and we'll make sure to try to keep up with you about any new developments with this particular story. All right, guys. Thanks for having me on again. And I'm a little worried. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Getting a little hot over here. I don't usually get hot, especially being up in Canada, but I feel a little warm. Like maybe the parkas, maybe I have like a parka on, but I don't, which is crazy. But I'm that hot, actually. So I'm going to let you guys go. I got a couple calls to make, so I'll see you guys and talk to you guys a little bit later.
All right. Well, thanks, Jacob, for coming on. And, it's a little bit early, but that is all we have for the Phil Switch today. We just wanted to give Jacob some time, catch up with him. So we shut our phone lines down, and we were just trying to give Jacob all the time he needed to talk to us about that. Hopefully everything goes well for him. But guys, as always, thanks for listening to the Phil Switch. Don't forget to check out my other podcasts that I host with Cap over at Kaplowitz Media, the First and 15th podcast. If you would like to reach out to the Phil Switch, you can do so by Gmail or Hotmail, or not Hotmail, email. That is thephilswitch@gmail.com. Again, that's thephilswitch@gmail.com. We wish you all a great week, and we'll talk to you soon here at the Phil Switch.